Well, let's see what happens tonight. Starting a little bit later than I wanted to, but not everything happens when I want it to. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, as usual. I always get that one person that comes in, only stays for 3 seconds and leaves. Happens on every live stream. Now I get somebody else back in, see if they stay. And then I have the sneezing fit. Okay, I've got two of you there. Who's going to be first to talk? Now there's three. Darn. Now there's one. I guess everybody just came to watch me sneeze. Hey, this is Danny or Lorraine? I've got two others in the background. Haven't said anything yet. But that's usually normal. Yeah, what I said in your video there earlier, I kind of missed the snow for Christmas because I grew up in New York. But I don't miss having to shovel it, and I definitely don't miss that cold. I've been in Florida now for, I think, 39 years. So now when it gets down to 70 here, I'm cold. And we do get some nights during the winter here that temperatures will get down to freezing or slightly below. It don't last long, but it does happen. I keep getting a bunch of people showing up as in the background or whatever. You got snow at night and freezing. Yeah, I saw you said that earlier in the other live that you were expecting it. I saw your connection there. Thank you. I'm going to see if I can pronounce your name without pronouncing it wrong. If I do wrong, tell me. Is it Ira? One of the big problems I've had in a lot of my live streams that I've done, everybody says they aren't getting notifications, so they've missed them. Or they come in late because they didn't get notification on them. I don't know what's happening with YouTube. And the other thing is I've had a lot of them there that the comments afterwards, where they make the comment below the video, they don't show up, so I never see them. No, I'm in Florida, so I don't get any snow. I mean, it's still 67 degrees here right now, which, let's see here, the Philippines, so 67. That's 19 degrees Celsius that you're used to. So it's, still warm here. I'm showing 3 people, so there's still somebody in the background that hasn't said anything yet. Hey, Josh. You must have some snow up your way. I was thinking you said earlier. Well, cool and windy's not bad as long as it's not too cool. And windy's not bad if it's not a storm. I don't miss that one bit. Oh, you're still getting rain, Josh. Outdoor Life was saying that they're expecting freezing temperatures up there tonight with rain and possible snow. Hey, Mike. Let's see, 8:45, 9:45. Trying to think. That late in the morning, Rena must be on the way to town for something by now. I didn't see her doing a live stream of it, so wasn't sure. Kind of at the point tonight I can't have talk. Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. You won't have to listen to me. Huh. Yeah, and with that, Mike, you never know if it's, she's busy or just their connection or whatever. Phone connection's as bad as internet connection in the Philippines. My neighbor across the road this way, if you've watched any of my videos in the past, you'll see the one where the blue semi's parked in the driveway. The woman that lives there, her daughter lives there also, and she's bought the property behind them, and they're in the process of clearing it. Is it the new Hawaii 5.0 or the old one, Mike? But anyways, they're clearing the property behind it, and they've been burning brush and stuff for the last few days. But the last fire they had was Saturday. Today, noticed a bunch of smoke over there, and the neighbor girl on this way from me saw it, and she ran over there to see what it was, and the brush line around where they weren't cleared yet, it had caught fire and was burning. Only thing we can figure is where they had their burn pile at and was burning, it burnt down into the ground and got into some dead roots or something. 2 days' time followed them across to where the brush was, and they came back up into the brush. Yeah, I always used to like watching Hawaii 5.0. I like the new Magnum too, way better than the old one. Well, you're watching the old one, okay. Lately, I've been watching a lot of the old CSI Miami, and then once in a while during the week they'll slip in one of the old just regular CSI, the one that took place in Las Vegas. I like watching some of those. I think the one I used to like the best was CSI New York, but you seldom ever find it anymore. Well, you had McGarrett in both of them. It's just the old one had I can't remember what his name was now, that played McGarrett. And in later years, I don't know whether he had Alzheimer's or what it was, but he couldn't hardly act, for the show anymore. And they said his wife had to do a lot of the stuff for him to keep him going, just to keep the show in motion before he finally quit. He just went, so far downhill with whatever he had wrong with him. But someday we may all be that way. Gee, that'd be a shame. I get so bad I don't remember what YouTube is. Yeah, I used to watch Cannon all the time too, which was, I liked the show, but it was halfway comical. Some of the stuff he tried to do, as big as he was. Hey, Ken. I guess some of you must be getting notifications then, because there's a few of you showing up. Half the time, everybody comes in and says they never got any. Oh, Mike, see if I can get this where it shows up better. Oh, I got a keyboard today. It's even got the mouse pad over here on the side of it, what most of them don't have. That way I don't have to use an external mouse. I went to Office Depot and picked it up. It was $26. That lets me do stuff in, once in a while that I was having trouble with the other one. But it's just taking me some time getting used to it because it's a little bit smaller setup than what this one is. And a couple of things aren't in the same place. Like with mine here, your mouse pad is down here in the bottom, where this one's up here on the side, so I'm always reaching the wrong place for it. But on my laptop here, this row of keys across to here, and then from here across to here, quit working. So everything I did with that required those letters, I had to bring it up on the on-screen keyboard, type that letter, then go back to my regular keyboard to finish. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that one there is just strictly an external keyboard, Mike. I still think I'm going to order the one for this. You have to pop this one out, and unhook the wiring and stuff, and then put the new one back in reverse. But I just got to order it. I don't remember where it comes from, New Jersey or someplace. With shipping, it's a little over $60. I only paid $26 for that one. GoFundMe for a new keyboard. Well, why don't they just go all out and GoFundMe for a new PC? This laptop I'm using is, at least probably 6 years old, if not more. It had been working fine right up until just maybe 2 weeks ago. I started having problems with stuff. Those letters down, bottom keys across there got where they only work part-time, and now they don't work at all. The J and the Y, sometimes when I hit them, I got to hit them, 2 or 3 times before they actually print. And once in a while, the left side mouse, when you press it, it'll stick down. Then I got to play with it to get it to come back up. Part of that just may be dirty. It sits out here all the time, and the kitty running around, that stirs up dust. The keyboard, from what I can find on YouTube videos, looks like it'd be an easy thing to replace. But the touchpad, okay, Mike, but the touchpad, you got your half the computer part to put it in. The keyboard goes in from the top side. Danny, were you the one saying earlier that you got to get up nerve to do a live stream? Oh, is she back on again? I thought she ended hers before. Because I had left it around 6 something, I think it was, went fix supper and whatnot. Hardest thing I find when doing yeah, Mike, you got to start tearing that truck apart, find out where it's at. What I was saying though, hardest thing I find as far as doing a live stream is if I don't have enough people in here that keep making comments, I run out of things to say while I'm waiting for somebody else to say something. Oh, you're still at work, Ken? Another late night, huh? Yeah, I need to figure out how to use StreamYard. That, like I keep saying, that way I can get somebody else to come up on the panel and let them talk, and I can sit back and relax a little. The only thing with using StreamYard, I mean, there's two forms of it. There's the free one, and there's the paid one. The free one, you get 20 hours per month, and then they cut you off. Where the paid one, I think it's $25 for the month, and it's unlimited use. But with StreamYard, you only get half of the watch hours that you get doing a YouTube live. YouTube don't give you the whole thing. I don't know what the difference is, but just so you know, if you're trying to build watch hours using the StreamYard, unless you get a good group that really gets a lot of people coming in, you only get half the hours for it. But a lot of times using StreamYard, because a lot of people like to see other people, see who they are, when you get up on the panel, because otherwise you're just talking to a name on the chat list. So you get more people will come into your chat. And a lot of times they stay longer than what they do here. You'll have your regular few that'll stay through most of it, but majority of the people will come in. If you do one for an hour, a lot of the people won't stay but 10, 15 minutes and they're gone. Yeah, see, I've never tried that. Plus, I don't do anything on my cell phone. I still use a flip phone. So I can't do any of that stuff anyways. I'm back down to just one here. Ken left because he's heading home. Mike got pulled away because his girlfriend called him. Josh went over to IJ's live. Well, that's good if you can, if you can do it outside, as long as you got the internet connection. As long as it's not damp, I don't think the cold will hurt the laptop. The hardest thing on a computer is heat. I don't think the cold would, bother to that aspect as long as it don't get damp. I mean, you wouldn't want to take the laptop out and during a snowstorm and use it. You may have problems then. I originally bought this laptop to use in my truck when I was on the road. I used to do auto transport, and that way I had this to look for my next load, and I need to pull up, something like on MapQuest or whatever, and when a dealer or a broker sent me my bill of lading for my next load, that way I had it on the screen so I could see it here till I could get it printed. Well, she's buying a mango. That means she's somewhere in town. Ken left us, Mike. He's heading home. He said he'd be back when he gets home. Hey, Sammy. Did you get the other coat of varnish on that door yet? I didn't notice if you did a video about it. Kitchen door. Is that the one you was putting varnish on the other day, or is it a different one? Or are you referring to the outside door? Okay. How'd the varnish mess up? See, I've never done, well, two things. You're doing varnish with a roller. I've never done that. I've always done it with a brush. Then you got to be careful you don't get brush marks in it. But I've never done stuff outside the way you are, other than doing a garage door, which obviously has to be done outside. Because the biggest problem with varnish is getting dust on it, and that's why after it dries and you feel it's got all the little tiny bumps in it, that you sand off or you give it the next coat. I saw you did another live, Sammy, but the timing of it, I was in bed. I've missed a bunch of years lately due to the time factor. And now that we went back off daylight saving time, we're 13 hours difference instead of the 12 we were. Started to bubble. Did it have moisture under it, maybe? No, I don't ignore it. Just your timing and mine's off lately. Yeah, with doing varnish, the wood has to really be clean before you start, and then next time you put your next coat on, it's got to be really clean. I used to take, like you said, you sand lightly over it. I used to use steel wool, and then get a rag with uh, paint thinner, alcohol or whatever like that, just to make it damp, and then wipe it. That gets the dust and stuff off it before you put the next coat on. I know, Sammy. Yeah. Sammy, I went out and spent some money today. That way, for the keys that aren't working here, I got one I can use now. So I was able to, and the reason I did it today, I mean, I was at the point I had to, because this morning I was in a YouTube live, and I don't know what happened, but it froze up, and I kept playing with it and playing with it and playing with it, and it was just $26, and I couldn't get anything to happen. And then I got a message up that audio something or other had an error. I had to restart my computer because it wouldn't let me do anything on YouTube. Anything that had any audio, it wouldn't even let me play them. And I couldn't shut my computer down unless I had another keyboard, because once I did, I couldn't log back in with this one not working. So that's why I went and bought that one, and then just chanced it and shut it down and logged back in with that one and got back in. So that way I got my audio back again. Yours won't even start. When it won't start, are you just trying to start it with the battery, or do you plug it in and try to start it too? Because if it's you're trying it with just the battery, maybe your battery died. I need a new battery in this one, but it'll start on the battery, but it only runs about 8 minutes, and it'll tell me that I'm down to 10%. I have to plug it in. And I forgot when I was at the computer place and stuff there today. Well, I went to Office Depot, which they carry everything, but they have computer stuff in there. I forgot to look see about a battery. Yeah, that's too bad. You haven't had that very long either. And I have no idea what to even suggest otherwise. I don't know nothing about that. Correct. Yeah. I used to have a Toshiba laptop that the battery was completely dead. It wouldn't work at all. And that's all I run it off with was a power cord. I just never spent the money to get another battery for it. And then later the hard drive went bad in it, and I was going to get another hard drive and just never did. But now it's old enough that I'm not going to try to fix it because the computer itself is too old. It ran on Windows 98. Okay, Sammy. I don't know as I'll go too long with this one tonight anyways. I got a little bit later start than I normally do, and there aren't too many people hanging out here tonight. But if the notifications aren't going out to people, then they're not going to show up. I keep thinking that maybe I should take and I don't know how to do it. I have to figure that part out too. Put it up, that I'm going to have a live at whatever time. Well, Ken was here, but he left. He was at work and he left to go home. Mike was here. Then Rena called him, and in the middle of the conversation, he lost her and can't get her back. I've got Josh was here from Canada. He went over to IJ's. Outdoor Life was here from Canada, and they've got quiet, so I'm not sure if they're busy or whatever. Trying to think who else was here. And I've had a couple people have just came in and never said nothing. No, he hasn't been here for a couple minutes. I mean, it's showing there's 5 people here, but you're the only one talking right now. Okay, I've never heard of Melon either. There's another one that some of them have been using. It's not StreamYard, and I can't think what it's called. Starts with an R, but there's been several people who have used it. I don't know as I care for it as much, but some of them like it. Oh, I agree with you, Sammy. That's the same thing. Like you get so many of them that come in, and make the big deal. Well, hey, Monroe, they make the big deal that they've subbed to you, want you to sub back to them. You do that, and the next day you lose the sub again, so it means they didn't stay. Well, there, Danny, that gives you an idea. Sammy says she don't recommend Melon. I'd never heard of it, so I don't know anything about it. Well, depends on what term you're using for super chatter. Whether it's just somebody that has all the big live streams or the ones that's giving all the money. I can't afford to give all the money, so that takes me out of that. Sammy, Outdoor Life there, Danny and Lorraine, they're up in Canada. Oh, I know who the other one was that was here a while ago, and she must have left, was Ira Jacobs. She came in when I first started. She's in the Philippines. Well, someday I need to sit down and figure out how to do StreamYard. I know, Sammy. But like I said before, I don't need YouTube. So, I mean, if it comes to that point that it's not fun anymore, I don't have to, do it. I'll just go back to watching the trucking video or the trucking videos and whatnot that I used to watch, and that's what I originally started on YouTube with. Because that's when I was doing stuff with my auto transport, and I used to come on to go to the other trucking channels, stuff like that, just talking to the drivers. Yeah, I wish you could get that third floor finished. I want that ocean view bedroom. I agree. Hey, Jude. You just getting up? Yeah, I know you are, Sam. Yeah, Jude did her live last night there with all of her dancing around and stuff there in her bed and whatever. That must have been quite a dinner if it wore you out that much. That's something I haven't done, is gone out anywhere to eat or whatever in a long time. I used to go to a couple Chinese buffets all the time here. And then I always used to go to Golden Corral, which is an American buffet. But since they had all the lockdown and stuff with, yeah, I'm a little worried about that because as close as you are to the water, underground may get wet. But what I was saying there, since COVID locked everything down for so much for a while, a lot of those restaurants and stuff were closed. So I haven't been out since. I'd like to go back again because I used to enjoy going to those places to eat. Well, I don't know where there's any Philippine buffets around here. I know there's a lot of Asian stores and stuff that you can go buy different Asian foods, but I'm not familiar with any restaurants. Oh, I know it'd be warm in the ground because it'll maintain the same temperature all the time. But as close as you are to the ocean, if you go down very deep, I would imagine it would get wet. That's the way it is here in Florida. That's why you don't find houses in Florida with a basement in them, because most of them would be wet. Up north, like where Mike and Ken are from, a lot of houses up there have basements. Yeah, that's what I was just saying there. Underground would be wet. And it's hard to, I mean, it can be done, but it's really hard to seal up a basement where water won't get in somewhere. Even my sister's place up in New York, She has a big full basement under hers, but she's got a sump pump down there, sits in one corner that every so often runs to pump water out of the basement because it starts seeping in through the wall. You want me to swim with the fish? It's still warm here, Josh. I mean, it's cooled down from what it was earlier today, but it's still 66 here. I think that's maybe around 18 or so Celsius. Is IJ still alive, or did she start another one? Because when I left 3 hours ago, I think it was, she said she was going to quit then. Well, what happens if they eat me? Is that the same live she was doing earlier? Because when I left before, I think she said she was on 5 hours already. Tea and sweet potato for breakfast? That's different. I like my bowl of cereal with milk. That's what I usually have every morning for breakfast, is a bowl of cereal. Once in a great while, I might. Yeah, that's what I say. I left at 6 something, I think it was, and she said she'd been on 5 hours then. But she just sets hers and lets it run, and then she's still doing housework and whatever. Okay, Sammy. She was taking care of dishes when I left. But I also couldn't run that long. I just run out of things to say. I don't have enough people in here talking, for me to have something to respond to. Or once in a while, we'll get, one or two people start talking about, some in particular topic, and then the conversation will keep going with that. That makes it easy too. I used to get those every once in a while, but I haven't bought any of them in years. I don't think I ever got anything that was more than $5. Occasionally, I got some that was another free ticket that was nothing. tonight I just fixed up the box type mac and cheese. I didn't even eat half of it, and I was full, so the rest of it's in a Tupperware dish in the fridge. I'll have it for lunch someday or something. Josh, I know you know Sammy. Do you know Jude down here? She don't get into mine too often, but she pops in once in a while. She's another Filipina, but she's in Thailand right now. She was there with her boyfriend prior to COVID and has been stuck there since. Yeah, you can. Mike's been in and out. He said he finally got a hold of Rena. She was out trying to buy a mango or something. Then he lost her. So now he doesn't even know for sure where she's at. Sammy just left us. She went back to do some more painting. She said she'll be in the background. She's kind of running out of money on her house and can't afford to pay the guys to do it, so she's doing a lot of stuff now herself. And the other one that I think they're still in the background, Josh, is that Outdoor Life, Danny and Lorraine. They're also from Canada. Kent, when I was talking to Mike, I don't know, yesterday maybe, he was heading south. He said some of the car lots heading down, going toward Texas. He said some of them have a lot of cars in them, but you can't tell if they're new or used because they always clean them up real shiny to put them out there in the lot. But he said they had quite a few cars sitting on their lots. What's going on at the town hall? You want me to quit talking, Sammy? Or just don't tell all your secrets? I'm going to tell all of Sammy's secrets. Her new house has 3 floors on it. She just never shows the upper 2. She's making us think she's only got 1 floor. Okay, Josh. I think she's afraid if everybody knows she's got that much room and having 3 floors that everybody want to go there and stay with her. And they get paid for their vote, huh? I thought that was in the U.S. I know you are, Sammy, but I didn't want people to know that. Then they'd be wanting to borrow money from you. Then I won't be able to get any. Yeah, I didn't read all the article tonight, but there's another one on YouTube that Texas is now in trouble with the U.S. government over redistricting their voter districts. So it's got to be somebody got upset that it didn't give them the vote to where they wanted to or something. I don't know. But you never make everybody happy. I heard she finally got her ID the other day. That took long enough. Yeah, but it's been so long, can't she probably have to get a new one? That picture's back when she was younger. Well, that's why you have all that money, Sammy. You quit paying them other guys to do it. You're doing it yourself. She's going to get there just in time when Rena moves upstairs. She hasn't got a date on it yet, but I'm thinking it's not going to be long and they're going to be telling her she's got to go. Well, speaking of that, Sammy, Ken, there was a thing also on there tonight that New York City is now making it a requirement that all small businesses have to have all their employees vaccinated. Yeah, Rena doesn't have a real lot of stuff to move, but she's got a couple items that Mike says she's going to need help with. One, that washing machine that he got her. Um, then that couch she's got sitting there in the living room, the one that's still standing on end, wrapped in plastic, that's got to go up. He said her plastic dresser and stuff like that, thinks if she takes the drawers and stuff out of it, it won't be too heavy to carry it. But anything going up and down stairs makes the job more difficult. Even them blue jugs of water, carrying them upstairs would be heavy. Because I imagine they're around five gallons, so that's better than 40 pounds. For those small girls, that's quite a bit. I worked with a company there for a while that's all we did was move people's housing furniture and stuff like that, or for a business. The businesses were always, filing cabinets and whatever, which a lot of that times that wasn't too bad. You use a service elevator to get to the ground floor. But I used my truck and company trailer to haul the stuff in. We could take a whole house or apartment, the furniture, and load it in, the truck that way, and go to the next place, unload it, and have it in the house for them in one day. But some of the places we got into, like one of them there we went, was up on the second floor, and they had one of those big, I don't know what you call them, I call them a couch, whatever, that's got the recliner on both ends. We had to take it out, walk down through the walkway, kind of like a balcony, go down a stairway that halfway down made a U-turn to go down the rest of the way to the ground floor. There was no way to turn it carrying that. When we got down to the bottom of the first set of steps, we had to stand on end and then jockey it around there and then take it down the next steps. Another place, we moved a big couch into an apartment that when you went up the stairs and then turned the corner, and as soon as you turned the corner, you had to turn the corner again to go in the door. We couldn't get in that way. Ended up going around the back side of the house. They had a back porch that was screened in upstairs because it was an upstairs apartment. We got it was at an apartment complex. We got the handyman or whatever come and take the screen out of that upstairs porch and hooked the rope to the couch, and one of us upstairs and two downstairs hoisted it up that way and in on the porch that way to get in there into the apartment. Some of the old places, when they build them, they just didn't design them for bringing, large furniture of today into them. I mean, it's a good thing she got the job, but at the same time, it's too bad that Samira got hers, where now she can't travel anywhere. She could have went over, and the three of them spent some time together. That probably would have been a comical time watching the three of them together. I can imagine. Has she ever traveled before? And it'll just do her good to get out and get away from the house for a while. Then we'd have to see when they go into town, which one of them two. Okay, Sammy. When they go into town, see which one of the two does the most shopping. Oh, would you take ferry to get over there? Okay. Kind of vegetables you're going to get, Sammy? Yeah, everything in the Philippines is so slow. And the scary part on that too, because there's been so many stories of different ferries and boats and whatever in different places that have capsized or whatever. Hey, Ivy, but they like I say, capsized or whatever, and so many people drowning or what have you. And it's hard to believe, too. The Philippines is an island country, so no matter where you go, there's water, and biggest share of the people there can't swim. I mean, I can't say much. I can't swim either, but it just always seems strange, that when you hear that, because like I said, it's all islands, and most people there can't swim, and they spend all their time in the water. Everywhere you look over there, if there's a creek, a stream, a river, a pond, or something somewhere, the kids are in it playing. Ivy, did you get your baby clothes all figured out? And did Sheen show you where the hands and feet are on the baby? Yeah. Well, Ivy, do you know which end the diaper goes on? I think we're going to have problems come the end of the month. Joy, you better sit down and have a talk with Ivy. We tried to last night, but it didn't work. She don't know where the hands or the feet are on the baby. I'm worried she's going to have problems finding where to put the diaper at. She'll have the kid upside down and have the diaper on the wrong end. Yeah, but Ivy's not sure of that. She had a bunch of baby clothes last night and didn't know what the booties and the little mittens were for. What do you mean you'll call her if you're almost there, Ivy? You're not going to Thailand. Now that's not fair. You two are speaking in Tagalog, so the rest of us can't understand you. Ivy, are these the feet? These are the feet, right? That's where you put the little booties. I told you last night there, the little booties were the ones that were kind of L-shaped, just like when you put it on the foot, slide it up toward the ankle. And the little mittens for the hands were the straight ones because you just slide them straight down on. Don't know what I'm going to do with you, girl. But maybe by the time you have 6 more kids, you'll have it figured out. Mike never came back. I wonder if he's still looking for Rena. Why do you need white socks? They can be any color. Besides, if they're not white, they won't get dirty as easy. Changing the subject a little bit. I was looking at my subs and watch hours today. My subs had gone up, I don't know, 3 or 4. My watch hours went down 1. So I lost an hour somewhere. Ivy, who's still doing live stream? Well, the doctor. What kind of live stream are you talking? Or, well, what kind of doctor are you talking? Hey, Rosa. Good to see you come in. Are you saying you need me to quit the live stream, Ivy? Just for you? We're going to do that, then you need to get on Skype so I can do a video conference with you like the doctors are doing here now. There's a lot of doctors here that are doing video conference, video chat and stuff with their patients. That all got started, since COVID. That way the doctor can talk to you and explain stuff, and you can talk to them and whatnot, and never have to go anywhere. That Joy, Ivy wants me to come and deliver her baby for her. And then she also wants me to make a YouTube video for her of the delivery. I'm just worried YouTube may turn around and censor the video with all the screaming. Ivy would be screaming there, get it out, get it out. A lot of people do videos of the birth anymore. I don't think they put them on YouTube, but they do them so they've got them for themselves afterwards. And technically, you could do it. It's not classified as sexual content or nudity or whatever. It's educational, so YouTube would allow it. I mean, there's girls that do YouTube videos on how to do a bikini wax, and it's listed as educational, informational, and then it's allowed. There's been several that have done them on breastfeeding, but again, they're educational or informational, so they're allowed. You still get the same few clowns that watch him and want to make him something else, but the only one you got to please on that is YouTube. She's cooking crabs. I thought she was going after a mango. I've never had crabs, as far as just getting them live like that and fixing them as they do or however, but I've always liked crab meat, like in salads and whatever. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that, Mike, that I think is good too. A lot of it though depends on how you cook it. I mean, just like watching so many of them, they take the whole fish and put it on the grill. Yeah, there's a few of them too, Mike. And it's usually the same ones everywhere you go. But I watched a video the other day. A couple girls were out on the beach, whatever, there in Hong Kong, and they had a bunch of fish, and they gutted them, but then they cooked the whole fish on the grill rack, head and all. And I don't know if I could eat the head. Probably nothing wrong with it, but never tried it. And the other thing is when they cook them that way, it always seems like the outside gets kind of overdone. But a lot of stuff I see them cook over there, they cook it, too hot of a fire. Cook it on the grill, either charcoal or wood fire. Either one is a little harder to control your heat. News finders, I've never seen you before. Where are you from? Everybody got kind of quiet. Well, Seems like everybody's getting busy with something else. I guess maybe I'll just go ahead and end this. It's getting on toward an hour and a half. Okay, Ken. I don't keep up with the games and stuff like you guys do. All right, Joy. What I've been watching a little bit of here, I've got the sound turned off so I can't hear it. It's The Voice, where those kids all compete, for the getting trained for singing and whatnot. What are you fixing in your room, Joy? I thought your room was fixed up pretty nice. Sometimes your daytime videos, you have a little bit too much sunlight coming through the curtains there. It makes it a little bit of a glare in your camera. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and end this, guys. Appreciate you all coming by. And I'll talk with you again on the next one. Later, everyone.